Today, we're going over the top 5 tips for tankers and enlisted. Regardless if you're completely new to the game or just looking for some ways to improve, let's show you how to level up your tanking game. We will cover the sweet spots to aim at, but let's dig into the other equally important parts first. I've also thrown in a bonus tip at the end, so make sure you stick around. Number 1. Angle that armor. Most tanks are engineered with sloped armor. This increases the effective thickness of the armor as well as increasing the odds a round will bounce off. But did you know that you can adjust this on the fly? It's easy, you just angle the position of your tank so that the enemy tank is somewhere along the inside edge of your track. It will look something like this to them. Make good use of that top-down situation view on the game's HUD to help you out. This adds an extra angle to your front armor, making it substantially more effective. You don't want to go so far, however, that you give them a clean shot of the rear of your tank. If you do this properly, it will make it that the side armor that's now exposed is so angled that nothing will go through. This alone will completely change your experience, and you'll notice far more rounds bouncing, as well as less effect to those that do make it through. Number 2. Hull down and turret down positions. This is very important and used by real tankers. A hull down position is simply using cover of some form like a hill to block shots to the hull of your tank so only the turret is exposed. Turret down means the entirety of the tank is in cover and not visible. Why is this important? Tanks are primarily designed to be used in a hull down position, and in fact if you look at your armor specs, you'll see that the thickest armor in most tanks is on the turret. You'll only be exposing your best armor and making yourself a much smaller target. This makes you not only harder to hit, but a heck of a lot harder to spot as well. These positions are well worth the extra time they take to find, and things like blown out tanks or other debris work great for this. You can maintain visibility by leaving your gunner's optic above the hill or using your commander turned out, and you'll be almost impossible to spot. From here, you can find targets, lay your gun on the position, roll the tank out just enough to fire a shot, and then back up into cover again. This is incredibly difficult to fight back against, especially if they didn't see where you fired the shot from. If you really manage to get the drop on them, you can stay out of cover and finish them off before rolling back in. It will take some time to find good positions like this, and ideally you'll only roll out enough to expose your turret to make the shot. A lot of hills can be quite steep in this game, so take what you can find. If you make good use of these positions, it will substantially increase your survivability and your ambushes. Number 3. Maintain situational awareness. Kind of obvious, I know, right? But stay with me for a moment. Have you ever had a great spot where you've got lots of targets to shoot at, only to have it ended by a tank that snuck around or some infantry that tossed an explosive pack onto your tank? You need to be continually scanning for targets. Take time frequently to scan for threats coming up to you and pop your commander out for a few seconds as well to have a look. Watch the mini-map and the full map carefully, and pay careful attention to marked enemies. I usually assume any point out as a tank until proven otherwise. Use these marks to figure out where your threats are and effectively ambush them. Also, don't forget you can listen for enemy tanks as well. They are very loud, and in between shooting you will hear their engine from a long ways away. If you don't see a friendly tank nearby on the map, you can usually figure out where they are and turn to engage them before they catch you off guard. Also, don't be that guy that charges directly into the middle of enemy infantry thinking you're invincible. I can promise you someone always has an explosive pack and will capitalize on this opportunity. Number 4. Shoot and scoot. Kind of playing off the point before. Again, it might be tempting to sit in a position to have an absolute turkey shoot. There are a couple of drawbacks to this. First and most importantly is your presence will be well known and likely the enemy will have you marked on the map. If you just hang out, this makes it very easy for an enemy tank to figure out a perfect place to park out of your line of sight and nail you from the side or rear. Secondly, once infantry figure out your position, they take another route, the well dries up, and you run out of targets. This can be effectively used to lock down an area and cut paths off for your enemy, so sometimes it is beneficial to the team. After all, tanks of thick enough armor make great anchors for the team. A good method is to find a spot, abuse it for a little bit, and practice shoot and scoot. Fire off some rounds and reposition. The best way to do this is to break a line of sight with your enemy by using hills or other obstacles so they have no idea where you went and pop out somewhere else. This in turn makes you incredibly unpredictable, will keep enemy tankers on their toes, and help you be in the best positions to support your infantry. Number 5. Aiming sweet spots. You've probably noticed the aiming reticle changes colors when aiming at enemy vehicles. Green means the round will penetrate, yellow means it might penetrate, and red means it will bounce. Very important! Armed with this knowledge, you can use the game's built-in X-ray vision in the top right to help adjust your shots. It shows every time you fire a round. By simply looking at your X-ray vision, you can see where your round hit and what effect it had. You can quickly see where important features of the tank are, primarily crew and ammunition. You can adjust your shots to aim for the crew, or better yet, their ammunition storage. Hitting their ammo racks directly will ensure a quick knockout, but may take a couple of shots with smaller barrel tanks. For practice, the game War Thunder has a protection analysis mode which shows exactly where internal components are, and also allows you to test how effective rounds fired from different tanks will be. First, you select the enemy tank you will be firing at from the research tree. Then, select your tank from the drop-down list. Finally, select the round type you will be firing and start playing with the angles and distances. This is the best way to see where their components are and to perfect your aim in a calm and controlled environment. It's a free game and a free tool, so I highly encourage you to check it out. Now, let's look at the two most common tanks in the Invasion of Normandy campaign, the Stuart and the Puma. For aiming at the Puma, you are horrendously outgunned if you're in a Stuart, and head-on confrontations should be avoided if at all possible. From the side, aim just above the front tire and slightly towards the back. If head-on, aim somewhere around here. Aiming at the Stuart, ammo racks are easily shot on the side here, but don't go so low that the track interferes with your shot. And on the front, somewhere around here. The key takeaway from this is to know your equipment and who you're up against. Don't show off parts of your tank that you don't want the enemy to hit. Regardless of the tank, the one that makes the best use of positioning and gets the first accurate shot off will usually win. And for the bonus tip for all of you that stuck around. First shot placement. As a general rule of thumb for your first shot, if you're about to be engaged by the enemy tank, meaning they have you spotted and are lining you up or will easily find you after your first shot, shoot at the neck of the turret or along the turret on the gunner side, wherever is green. German tank gunners usually sit on the left of the turret, so to your right head on. American tanks, they are usually on the opposite side. This isn't the case for the Stuart though, they're on the left of the turret as well. By shooting at the neck, you are aiming at weaker armor and have a high likelihood of jamming the turret, and the round will likely take out the gunner and commander. Taking out their gunner will halt their offensive capabilities for a few moments while they switch seats and give you the upper hand. A second shot with slight deviation will assure that the crew is taken care of in the turret for a moment, allowing you to accurately aim for the ammo racks. If you are not immediately about to be engaged, aim for the ammo racks or strategic points that will benefit you. Sometimes it's better to nail their engine first to bring them to a halt. Other times it's best to whack the side of their turret, etc. That will do it for these top 5 tips for tankers. Please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you found this video helpful, and make sure that alerting bell is on. If you integrate these tips into your gameplay, I bet you'll immediately notice that you're winning more tank-on-tank engagements and starting to get better KD ratios. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, or maybe you have some tips of your own that you'd like to share, drop them in the comments down below. I'd love to see them, and I'm sure your fellow tankers will appreciate it. I stream every week on Twitch, and the link is down below in the description. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope this helps, and we'll see you on the front lines.